Hello guys, and welcome to today's live class. If you can see me, please let me know, and if you can hear me, let me know. Hello guys, and welcome to another live stream class today. So like I normally say, our live stream classes are for strictly beginners. Okay, so if you're welcome, you are welcome. If you can see me, please let me know. I need somebody to confirm before we start. Okay guys, so I need somebody to confirm that you can see me and you can hear me. So once I get the confirmation, we are good to just start, guys. So if you are new to the channel, you're welcome. Amara, hi, how are you? I'm good, Amara, and you? How are you doing? Amara, you're welcome. Olatunji, Olaiton, yes, hello, I can see your hands up. Can you see me, Amara? V, hello, can you see me? Can you hear me? Today's class is going to be a very beautiful class for beginners. So we're going to be making a pencil skirt with back slit, and I'm going to do it full lining. So I'll show you guys how to do that. We're adding a slit and we'll line it. So if you can hear me, let me know. If you can. Okay, V has confirmed I can see you and I can hear you. Okay guys, so let's just get started straight into our live class today. Okay guys, so this is the fabric that I'm going to be making use of. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting the fabric and the lining. I'm using the same fabric for the lining. Edin, you're welcome. I can also see you. Thank you. Okay, so I need to readjust my camera so we can start. Okay, so you know today is Friday, so we can go and rest. Okay, so this is the fabric, like I said. So once you can see it, let me know. Rosemary, you're welcome. So let me know, Rosemary, where are you watching me from? Uju Agbasi, hi. Where are you watching me from? Agatha Ibok, hi. So let me know, Amara, where are you watching from? So let me know where you guys are watching me from. I would appreciate that. So while we continue, you can just drop it. I'll always come up. So this is the beginning and then this is the end. So it has entered the table. So now we're going to start. Let me get my tape, and then I'm going to mark. I'm going to show you everything as we, like, seriously. Okay, so this is the fabric that I'm going to use for my skirt. So if you want to make a skirt like this, a pencil skirt like that, what you are going to use to fold your fabric, you are going to use your hip. Let me put this on the side. You are going to use your hip measurement. So it's your hip measurement is what you are going to use. For instance, if your hip is 40, you divide that 40 into 4 and then add like 3 or 4 inches to it, or 5 inches. Better still, just add like 5 inches. So you now fold your fabric at 15. Okay, so that will be okay and good. Okay, Blizzy, Helen, hi, good evening. Olatunji, you're watching from Ibadan, you're welcome. Helen, you're watching from Makudi. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's continue. So I'm going to, so when making a skirt, so I've explained how we normally know how to fold our fabric so we don't waste the fabric, right? So if you are just joining us, you're welcome. And if please like this video, you people should put like for me so that the video can spread very well, so that plenty of people can see it. Okay, so this is like our startup line. Okay, so the next line we are going to measure, let me just use myself. The next line you are going to measure is your hip line. You understand? So normally hip lines on our dresses is usually between 8 and 9. You understand? So what you will do, you take your tape like this and then you mark 9 inches. Okay, so that's 9 inches. This 9 inches is going to be our hip. This is where we would put our hip measurement. Okay, Winnie Joy, welcome. You're watching from Cameroon. Winnie Taba, hi, you're welcome. Good evening. You're watching, okay, from Cameroon. Okay, I hope you people can see. The thing is looking bent. Okay, so Okay. All right, you're welcome. So the next line you are going to measure, the next line is going to be the length of the gown. That's the down part of your gown, either if you want it to reach your knee or if you want a midi skirt. So that's the next line you are going to measure. So for this, the next line we are going to mark is the down part of our skirt, which is 21 inch. Okay, so that's what we are using for this skirt. Okay. Uduak, you're watching from Abuja. Jikoy Abuja, like seriously? You're welcome. I'm just so excited because I live in Abuja too. Uh, okay, so I've marked that. So the next thing, now we're going to start inserting our measurement. So as I go along, our waist measurement that we'll use for this skirt, the waist is 30 inches. And then our hip is 40 inches. So these are the measurements that we're going to use for this skirt. No, I'll reduce the hip measurement because of my fabric. So for the hip, we will use, the waist is going to be 30 inches and then our hip is going to be 36 inches. So these are the two measurements. So these are like the two basic measurements you need for the skirt. Okay, Simeon, you're welcome. You're watching from Abuja also. Wow. You're welcome. Okay, so let's start inserting our measurements. So like I said we're using 30 inches. Okay, so 30 inches, look at my tape. In case you don't want to do crazy calculations, just divide your tape into 4. I've divided the tape into 2 and then this is into 4. You see, this is our tape. So this is what we are going to place here. We'll place it like this, and then I'm going to add, because I'm going to take out that, add that 1 inch for that, and then I'm going to add a stitching allowance to it. Okay, because I will sew and turn, so I'm going to add like 1.5 or 2 inches allowance. Okay, so that's that. So this is the actual measurement, this is the dart, and then this is the normal allowance. Okay, so I'm going to mark this like this, and then we'll come to the hip measurement. We say we're using 36, right? So that 36, we're going to divide 36 into 4 also. So we'll just do our tape like this to make it easy for us. Okay, so I'll place it like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I have 9 inches. So for this one, I don't need to put that on this side. So I'm just going to add my stitching allowance. So I'll add like 2 inches or 2.5 inches stitching allowance. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to connect these two lines. So I'll connect them first like this. So I'll use my pattern cuff. You can, if you don't have pattern cuff, use your hand. You don't use to beat somebody. But pattern cuff will just make your work neat. Okay. So the next thing now is the down part of your skirt. Depends on how tight. Like I normally, most of my customers, when they come, I'll tell them, if you have car that you are driving, that you are not climbing bike, it's good to make the down part of your skirt slim, because that's where the beauty is. But once the down part is too wide, it don't used to be fine. That's just the truth. So for this, we're making a pencil skirt. So what we are going to do, I'm going to come to this point, and then I'm marking what I have. I have 11 inches on my hip line like this. So that 11 inches, normally I'm supposed to take out 2 inches from it. So this one is like standard, that will make your skirt, it will make it slim. So I just took out 2 inches from my hip measurement to give my skirt a perfect curve. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to place this, but at times I can still make it slimmer if I want. So guys, you can see the shape of our skirt. You see how beautiful the skirt is looking. Okay, Afua, you're watching from Ghana. You're welcome. Simeon, why did you delete your message now? You said retracted. You retracted the message. What happened? Did you miss the typing? Okay, so the next thing now, let's add our dart. So for the dart is usually like this. So most times we normally use our bust hand measurement for our dart. Okay, that's, you see, just like this, up to here like this. So it actually makes it easier. So for this, I'm going to be making use of about 7.5 inches. So that 7.5 inches, I'll divide it like this into 2, and then I'm going to place it like this here for my dart. Okay, and then when I place it here, I'm going to mark, depends on how deep I want my dart to be. So I'm going to mark about 4 and half inches like this. And then when I mark that 4.5 inches, I'm going to root it like this. And then I'll take out, remember this 1 inch, I'll take out that 1 inch from this pattern now. That's half inch here and then half inch here. So that two half inch I will now return back. So this 1 inch that I added that time for that, I've taken it out already. Okay, something's entering my mouth. It's like it's my hair. So I've taken that out. Okay, so our dart is good to go. So I'm going to just notch that point. So the next thing now, let's cut off our skirt. So I hope you guys can see. Okay, French West Indies. So you're welcome, Guadalupe. Wow, Guadalupe, you're welcome. So I'm going to cut my skirt now. So if you notice, I'm not cutting on the exact line. Okay, so I'll just cut it a little bit outside of the line. The skirt, and then because it was joined together, so let me open it. And then we're going to add the slit, the back slit. Now I'll show you guys how to do that, because you need to add the slit before you start sewing and turning. Okay, so this is my actual piece, and then we're going to use this one for the lining. So let's keep that one on the side. Okay, so in order for us to add the skirt now, you see, you go see. So do you know what happened? I cut the back and the front this time. I do not remember. So you know, because this is a live stream, so there's nothing I can do. So I'm just going to show you guys, in case you make this kind of mistake, how to correct it now. So what in correcting it, I'm going to just reduce my measurement. That's all. Normally I'm not supposed to cut back and front together. I'm supposed to add a zip allowance for my back piece. So guys, so you can see. So that is why most times when I'm sewing, I always like putting enough allowance on my dress, on my clothes. Some people are like, the allowance is too much. I say no, because when you make mistake like this, it's that allowance that will save your life. So I've refold my fabric. So this is my back piece. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to trim out, I'm going to mark the front part. So I can just see the shape from there, like this. Okay, so I've corrected it. Okay, so please take notes. If I did not have enough allowance, now that one, you know what they say, buy market in Nigeria. I don't buy market with that. So I'm just trimming out now. You know the allowance I added almost more than 2 inches allowance. So that won't help my life. Okay, so now it is corrected. So we have our back pattern. So I'm going to readjust my dart areas. I'll readjust the dart for the back piece. Okay, so that's why I like live stream. It will help you, as in when you are watching, you see the mistake that we make and how we correct them. If it was a video I'm doing now, I will not even show you people. I'll just edit that part out and correct it. So that's just the truth. Okay, Rachel, you're welcome. No problem. That's the truth. That's what we see. So you push, you learn. So let's put a notch. So we want to create our slit now at the back. So put a notch at the top part for your zip allowance like that. So then let's keep the front piece. And then before we go, that zip allowance, let's mark it down, because it is very important. That's where the slit is going to take effect from. Okay, so mark it. Okay, so now I've marked it down. So the next thing now, okay, let's see. So the next thing now, how long do you want your slit to be? So that one it totally depends on you, and depends on how much you want to show. So for this, let's just see. So let's do like 8 inches, because since we are going to sew and turn, let's do like 8 inches. So that 8 inches, this is what I'm going to have. So I came up by 8 inches from this down part, and then I mark it like this. Okay, if you notice, I've not opened my my zip allowance. I've not opened it. So now what we are going to do now, so my okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off. You understand? You know, I came up by 8 inches for my slit, so I will cut that off. So this is what is going to form. It is a slit. A slit is different from an overlap. You understand? It's different from a vent on your skirt. They are different. They are totally different. So I've opened my skirt. I've opened this. I've cut out the slit area. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to open my zip allowance part like this now. So we are going to sew now. So I need to, so you guys can see the back of our skirt. We've added the slit to it. If it is a long skirt, even if it is just long straight skirt, front slit, you can you see the way I did it like this. That your skirt, just cut it like that. If you want to add a slit to the front of your skirt, you can do it like this. If you want to add a slit to the side of your skirt, you can still follow this pattern the way I did it, and then do it. So guys, so we're going to start stitching. So this is the front pattern, and then this is the back. So for the back, let me place this one. So you place it back like this. So please, I want you to note, I'm not going to cut my lining. That's the back lining. I'm not going to cut this place like this. So the way I open here like this, I will not cut it on the lining. I will only open the zip allowance side like this. I'm just cutting only the zip allowance, because most times if you cut it, for beginners, you can make mistakes. So just leave it. So that will serve as guide. So let's keep the back on the side and let's work on the front. Okay, so this is our front piece now. So I'll show you guys. So I'm just trying to trim. Always make sure trim all of your things. Make sure if you want to do sewing and turning like this, make sure that you trim everything equal before you start. Okay, so we're finished trimming. Let me clear my table before we continue. So now let's adjust my camera to our machine. Okay, like seriously. You people should help me, please. My lights tripped off, guys. Okay, so I'm adjusting I might not be able to iron this thing I'm doing, because I am actually using an inverter. So it just tripped off just now. That's why you saw that it went blank. Okay, so now let's start stitching. So let's stitch the front first. So this is how to stitch. So when we want to stitch, so I'll open up my lining, and then I'll take this together. So I'm going to start from the down. Okay, so I'm stitching the down first. See, it went blank. Sorry. Just off those other lights outside. So I'm stitching from the down. Okay, so after stitching, you are going to trim it a little bit. Just trim out every excess that you have like this. Okay, and then you open it up like this. When you open it up, we're going to turn it like this. So you see what I'm doing? So I just pulled it up a little, just a little bit. Most times I just like pulling a little bit. So you can see. So when cutting your skirt, you can, if you are going to, you add a little bit of allowance to the length, okay? So that will help to make this. Just add a little bit of allowance to the length. You can add an extra of 2 inches. So it does not shorten the length of your skirt, okay? So you can see what I did. So I'm going to stitch the other side now. So I'm done with the front. So let's open and check what we have before we continue with the back. So if you are just joining us, you're welcome. Please let me know where you're watching from, and then please like this video. I'm not seeing plenty likes on this video at all, just 12. Haba, you guys should please like this video, like it. I beg, just check for the like and like it. So you can see I'm trying to push the down part out, okay? So you can see, you see my skirt, you see the inside, you see the outside, you see it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hold my dart. So like I said, that was what I was telling you, add that extra inches to your skirt to avoid, you see what I'm losing now, because I didn't want the lining to show. So with this, you can see, you see the way this place is looking, your lining will not, it will not be coming out from the under. So add that extra inches. So the next thing, I'm trying to hold my dart. I've already marked it just like I showed you guys, and then I'll use that inch, those 2 points that I marked. I'll add my dart, okay? So I'll open that up, and then you can see, and then I'll check for the second dart, where the line of the second dart is. So I'm holding it too, and then I'm going to stitch it down also. So okay, Emeralda, you're watching from Cameroon. Welcome, thank you so much for letting me know. I appreciate it. All of you that are here, please tell me where are you watching me from. And like I said, please like this video. Okay, the like has increased to 15. Please, more people should like the video. Like. So you can see my dart. You see how beautiful. So after joining, so you see the dart. You see our front piece. You see how it is looking fine. Amara, you're watching from Sierra Leone. Wow, you're welcome. So we're done with our front pattern. So let's keep our front pattern on this side, and then let's come to the back piece. So for the back piece, I'm going to take them one after the other, okay? So I'll take my lining that I did not cut, you see my lining, and then I'm going to take this like this now. Just make sure. Okay, so you saw the way we did that one. So I'm going to start stitching it from the down. when I stitch, I've stitched that part, right? So what I'm going to do, you see what I did, the same thing I did for the front piece, you understand? You see, I pushed it up a little bit. Glory, you are welcome. You're watching from Texas. Wow, beautiful. Thanks for joining. So you see what I did. So with this, your lining will not come out. It can never come out. And then now we're going to stitch the slit line. Now I've pushed it out, and then now we're going to, you are now going to start stitching. Okay, I hope you can see. Okay, so now let's continue. So you see that slit line. Once I get to that point, I'm going to stop, and then you notice I did not remove my needle. I just raised my machine. The needle is still pierced to the ground, and then I'll bring it to this point, to this edge. And then when I bring it to this edge, I still did not remove my needle. My needle, my needle is supposed to still be pierced, but it came out. And then I've navigated the curve, you see, and then I'm going to start stitching it to the top. So I still have my zip allowance, you can see. Okay, so I've done that part. So the next thing, I'm going to sew this. So most times don't sew like this, because if you sew like this, there's a probability of you dragging the fabric. Turn it to this side that is already laid down flat, and then stitch from that side like this. It makes it easier. Please like this video. The like have increased a little bit to 19. Okay, so I'm going to cut this open now, and then let's cut, and then let's see what we have. So I'll trim my edges. So I'll trim the edge. I'm going to show you guys. You see the lining part, the slit part. I'm going to trim it like this, and then we'll trim it. Cut off all of your thread, and then on this part I'm going to notch that point a little bit, you understand, so it does not give me any problem. And then I'll open up this side, then cut off that excess. So now let's open and see what we have. Okay. So I'm using my hands to push it out properly, and then this side also. Okay guys, so you can see what we've got, see what we have. You see how it is looking. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to add my darts again to my back panel. That's one part of the back. Okay, so I'll cut this open now, and then the other part I'm going to do it very fast. That's the second part of the back. Then we'll come and join them together to make it easier for me. Okay, so before I do that, I need to check it so I don't run into any problem. So I've stitched it down again, just like we did, and then I'm going to push it. So I'm pushing it just the same way we did the first one, and then I'll secure it down on the slit line. So because my fabric is light, so I'm able to see it. Okay, in case your fabric is not light, use your chalk to mark it so you don't stitch it wrongly. So I've stitched that. So I'm stitching the zip allowance part. So I'm just trying to be a little bit fast. Okay, so the next thing I'll stitch the other one part. Okay, so if you are just joining us, you're welcome. If you have not liked this video, please give this video a thumbs up. The likes are not encouraging. They are not encouraging at all. So please like the video. I would appreciate that. So we're going to trim out this part now, the same way we did before. And then trim off every other excess that we have. Okay, so let's check. Camille, good day. You say you are Vivian from Guyana, South Africa. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so you can see I'm trying to push out. I'm trying to push out the slits, the back slits, with our lining. Okay, so we have our skirts. So you can see. Let me adjust the camera so you can see very well. You see what we have at the end of the day. See how the skirt is looking. So let me add the darts. I've forgotten. Let me add the darts to this other part before we continue. Okay. So like I normally say to my online class students, just get all this kind of fabric and be using them to practice. You understand? So you will not be afraid of spoiling the cloth. Use those kind of fabric so you can see what we have. I want to try and see if I can iron. I pray that the light does not switch off. Let's pray and hope it switches off. Okay, it did not switch off. So let me just try and iron them so at least it's looking a little bit neat. So I'm trying to iron the zip allowance parts. That is the zip allowance part and the slit part. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to iron it down nicely so it is neat. This is not my ironing table, so the thing is not very smooth. We'll just manage. Let's see if I can iron our front piece also. Let me disconnect the iron. It's getting hot. So I'm ironing the side of my skirt. So let's work on our back piece now, so you can see the back. So the next thing we're going to do now, I'm going to join the back together. Okay, so in joining the back, I'll join it along the zip allowance so you can see. So I'm going to start it from, you see that point, you see, that's where we're going to stitch it from, along the zip allowance line like that to the top. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll hold it like that. I'll just stitch. And then when I stitch, if you notice I've not top stitched that part, I'm going to turn it so it is easy for me to do a top stitch on it. That's to stitch it down properly, because you need to stitch it down. Okay, so I've done that. So the next thing now, we're going to open this and then we'll iron it to see what we have. Okay, so you open up your zip allowance part like this and then you iron. You can see our skirt. You see how neat and beautiful our slit is looking like at the back. You see the slit. You see it from the front now of your skirt. You see your skirt. You see. So it looks neat. It is fully lined, and then yet we have our slit on it. So this is a slit and not a vent and not an overlap. So you can see. You see the skirt. You see the back. Just want you to see it. Okay. So the next thing is for us to join our back and our front piece together. So in joining them, here's what you will do. I'm just going to place them like this, and then I'll use my pins. Make sure that on this down part, so most times when I'm doing this, I normally I'll pin back this part. I'll just pin it back. It actually helps. Okay, so I'll just pin that back, and then I'll take this like this. I'll place it here like this. So if I want my skirt to be very slim, the down, I will do it like this. But if I don't want my skirt to be very slim, I will not pin it down. I'll open it up like this, and then I'll pull this to this side, and then pull this to this side. So it is optional. Okay, so whichever you want, that is what you will do. If you want the down of your skirt to be very slim, you pull it together, so that, you know, those kind of skirts that the down is so slim. So do it that way. But if you don't want that, just pin it like this, and then you see how it is looking. And then we're going to mark now. In marking, we're going to use our waist measurement. So we'll come to this part now. Our waist measurement now, divide that into 2. So my skirt is already truncated. You know, I had to reduce the measurement. Okay, so now we change measurement. Let's use 28 for our waist, which is 14. So you mark it here. 14 that's 28 divided by 2. You mark it like this, and then you come to the hip line. So the hip, make sure so that you don't go and put your hip here, or you go and put your hip here. And so always make sure, still mark it like this and check. Okay, so our hip, will reduce our hip measurement also. So we'll use 34 now instead of 36 that we used initially. Okay, so I'll connect them like this. You can use your pattern curve. You can actually use your pattern curve. Then for the down part of my skirt, so what I'm going to do for the down part, I don't use your hand. I'm just going to take this because I need that pencil shape, okay, on it. And then I'm going to, depends on how wide you want it to be, you can come in by 1 inch and then do this. Just make sure you mark it straight like this, and then this one also. Most times this is what I normally do. When I mark this, I will not mark this. I'm going to sew it, and then before I mark the other side, so that will help me to have, let me adjust my camera, that will make me to have a very beautiful, well-shaped skirt. Okay, so I'll do this like this, and then I'm going to join. So when join, if you notice, once you do your skirt very well, the hip is not going to shoot out. Okay, it's not going to shoot out. I know that's most of the problems that beginners that we normally have when we're making skirts. So at times when stitching like this, you find out that maybe this part is a little bit too long. So you are just going to try as much as you can. Use your hands and adjust it nicely, and then until it aligns properly. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing, so you can see that's aligned properly. So I'm going to open this up, take out my pins into my mannequin, and then I'm going to turn this part back. So I want to see my skirt, I want to see the shape. So what I did, I'm going to now repeat my measurements here on this side, and then on my hip line, okay, and then I will mark. So I'll use my pattern cuff like this now. You can see. So I'll use my pattern cuff so I'll have that beautiful shape. After marking like that, this other one now, I'm going to take my pattern cuff like this, and then I'm looking at how many inches did I leave on the edge of this one. So I hope you can see how many inches did I leave on the edge of this. So that is what I will use for this one also, to give me a perfect straight pencil skirt. Okay, and then I'll mark it like that. So after marking it like that, I'm sweating. So we're going to stitch now on this other side. So this actually makes it easier for me. Okay, okay. So if you are just joining us, you're welcome. Okay, so I'm putting off my machine. The noise is so loud. So now let's open up and see what we got. I'm not doing the waistband, please. I'm not doing waistband for it. So maybe in another video, another live stream, we can just do waistband, but I'm not doing waistband. So I just want to open it. Let me iron. So I'm ironing the side seam now. Okay, and then I'll iron it again from here, and then I'll open it from the inside and iron it. So you can either iron it first from the inside before you iron outside, or you iron outside first. Most people, they iron inside first. But for me, either way works for me. So I'm going to open this up now, and then we are going to see our skirt. Oh, so beautiful and lovely. You can see our skirt, it came out really fine. So let's open the back. You see the back? You see the back? So I need to readjust this camera. So you see our skirt? Let me turn it to this side. So you can see it very well. You see our skirt? I'm not wearing any shoes. This is the back of the skirt, our full line skirt with slits. Okay, you see it came out really fine. So guys, let me sit down and see if I can entertain some small questions before I go. Okay guys, all right. Okay, so do we have any questions? So we have now come to the end of today's live stream. Most of you did not like this video. I'm not saying plenty likes on this video. You people should please like the video. I would appreciate that. Okay, Camel, good day. You're watching from South Africa. Welcome. So thank you so much guys. I've now come to the end of another live stream today. So like I normally say, see the way I'm sweating. My live stream are usually for beginners, so I just try as much as I can to do rock bottom beginners tutorials, okay, for you guys. Okay, Felix, you're watching from Aba. You're welcome, Camel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, American mommy. Thank you so much. So we have now come to the end of today's class. So you guys can see. So as a beginner, if you follow what I did today, you will be able to sew perfectly a pencil skirt, a midi skirt, a long straight skirt. You'll be able to do it very perfectly well with everything I did today. This was a live stream and it was done really detailed. So thank you so much. If you did yours, you can share a picture with me on WhatsApp, and then yeah, just share a picture with me on WhatsApp, and then like this video if you are just coming. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you that tuned in today to our live stream. So like I said, live stream, they are really inconveniencing, but I've just made up my mind that I'm going to be doing it because I found out that it is really helpful for beginners. So I'll just keep on doing it. Mondays, Fridays, sorry, Tuesdays, Fridays, but Tuesdays, just come and check. Tuesday evenings, there's a probability it's very high, but Fridays, if I'm chance, I'll do. So guys, thank you so much. Okay, yeah, definitely playback. Yes, thank you so much, Camille. I'll see you guys in my next class.